Hello, welcome. I'm here to give you guys a philosophy how to expand a bit upon your creativity, imagination, and innovation. Everything is created twice, first in the mind, then it becomes reality, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe can achieve. So you go out there day after day, do the work. The confidence to put yourself out there boldly, authentically, even though the success, the creation has not arrived, has not manifested just yet, but you know that the richest place on earth, the richest real estate on earth is the graveyard with dreams and goals and everything like that die along with you because you have the courage, the philosophy, the frameworks, but that's all going to change because you don't have that and the 10x massive action go-getter energy to go out there to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. This is the method, the philosophy known as create like a God. That's your man, Jaron Mitchell, aka Jaron Winning Mitchell. Okay, today's topic I'm going to be talking about today is why creativity is a spiritual experience. I believe this is a spiritual experience, a creative force. Okay, God is a designer, God is the creator. God is constantly creating. Look at the planets, the stars, the moons, the universe, even creating through us. Even we have to get access to the ether to give us permission to get what we have, the technology that we have now. Look at all the stuff that we have every single day, right? Look at the automobiles. Those are human inventions. We created, right? You look at a lot. I think it was also the book Mastery by Robert Greene. A lot of people dreamed about it, dreaming about it and stuff like that, end up coming up to creating something. But I believe there's negative creation and positive creation. We're going to talk about more about that. Maybe I'm not on this episode, but maybe on a different episode we're going to talk about it. I'm going to see first. But along with that, you guys, so God is a creator. God is the artist. God is a designer. You know what I'm saying? In the Quran, it says, all you had to say is it be and it is. In the Bible, God said, let there be light, and there was light. There's a creation of light. Separates the day and light. So I don't know about the other texts or religious texts, but the thing about it is creativity is always happening. It's always creating. Thinking about the animals that's been created, animals being produced. It also says, I believe it's in Psalms, I don't remember, it says in the Bible, God sold you, like he already knew you. God already knew you and sold you in your mother's womb, basically, right? And I think it also says something like that in the Quran as well. I can't remember, and I won't able to remember everything because I don't have the Quran memorized just yet. I don't know how to recite the Quran just yet. But creativity isn't just a skill, it's connection. Is you creating and you're tapping to something beyond yourself. So it's you getting into something and you can create something beyond yourself. Okay, look at a lot of stuff that happens in the human race, right? A lot of things we're not even ready yet, like social media, the internet, stuff like that, new stuff that's been created, we haven't been ready yet. This has only been what not even 100 years. 20, 30 years or something, right? So a lot of this stuff is we got to get used to, got to adapt to. That's something about us as human beings. We're easy to adapt and evolve and stuff like that. So that's what I want to talk about is creativity is a spiritual experience. There's the book called The Artist's Way as well, but it's a spiritual experience. God creates, God designs. Look at us as human beings. We create, we design, we draw, we do illustrations and stuff like that, right? Creativity and stuff, right? We do other things. We find things that actually, like there's many inventions that is because of a husband loved his wife and ended up creating something to help the wife or help the son or help the daughter or the mother or the father. Like it's been many stories like that throughout our history. I can't think of one right now. There's been a lot of inventions, a lot of stuff that have been created and ended up happening. And again, we also exceed with new creations. When we have a creation, we create something, we have problems, then we have new problems we need to solve. Then we have people that's solving those type of problems, the new problems. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of people is AI doomers and believe that AI is dooming us all. Or I hear people saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna run out of water," and I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, the Earth is made up like probably what 80% of water, bro. What are you talking about? AI is not. You're not gonna have lack of water. The Earth is made up of 80% of water. Okay. Another thing too. Same thing with global warming. There's a lot of stuff I'm probably talking about is controversial, but same thing with global warming. The planet is heating up, right? The ice, like our planet done it multiple times and it heats up, it gets the ice ages, it heats up, it gets the ice ages. Done it multiple times, multiple series. So at the end of the day, I think it's more of us getting prepared. That's just my opinion, being prepared for those type of things and those things that happen. We cannot control what we cannot control, what we can do, what we can do right now. And a lot of stuff is helping us as society. And there's going to be new problems we're going to solve. And is that hopefully we get smart individuals, great individuals that help us solve those problems that humans are like we facing and creating new stuff that end up coming with no new problems. Okay, maybe that's a whole new episode I can talk about. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to this point. Point number one, today's topic we're talking about today on Create Like a God podcast is why creativity is a spiritual experience. Disclaimer: this title might change, it may be changed, it may be different, but again, we are one. We are. I won't say we are. We are all one. We are all connected with the same source. I used to think. This is a recap on the podcast right here, right? So I used to think of like, was it? I think the law of one and everything like that. Getting into New Age stuff. This is before I knew about Islam or educate myself about Islam. A lot of a new Age stuff, right? So you have this book, which I'm actually going to get the book because I'm actually curious and want to read it. It's called The Law of One. Basically, what I'm learning about is more pantheon. I think it's called pantheism, if I'm correct on that. So basically, saying that we all connected to the universe, God is the universe. But Islam look at this differently. Islam look at it as that the universe is created. You know, everything God is created. Only worship the one who created everything. So not the man, not a animal, not the earth, not the sun or the moon, God only. And a lot of the things that I actually come to think about it, looking at the law of one or listening to it, what it does, kind of somewhat if you guys don't know, look at Dolores Canyon, a lot of the stuff with the subconscious mind. And I guess they had past lives and all the other stuff. But Islam but Islam like denounced that. And a lot of the stuff, wasn't that? I was subscribed to that and kind of decline. I don't say not disrespect. What's the word? Can't think of the word right now. I think it's decline or unsubscribe, not decline, but reject. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Reject the notion of reincarnation and pantheism within the law of one. Okay. So pantheism, basically everything is God. Basically a tree could be God, everything could be God, you could be God, and all that other stuff, right? So this other stuff I used to be looking into, fascinating, all that stuff. And then I end up reading the Quran and end up being fascinated with the Quran and Islam, and made me think like, wow, okay, I love their point of view. I love how they think about it, and I love what they think. Okay. But at the end of the day, we are all connected to the source. God knows, God is all wisdom, all wise, right? Or Allah, which is one God, one true God in Arabic, which is creativity begins with understanding that we are not separate from the original, from the source of creation. Okay. We are all the same source of creation. God knows everything, right? God knows who we are. We all from the same creation, different types of creation, but we are all creative individuals, right? Every idea and every vision, every piece in the art flows within the same origin, which is the ether, right? The ether. God, we get into the ether, thoughts come into the ether, and it sends it out, right? It comes in that source, which I do think God can send us to the ether and give us permission until we are ready to have it, or until we get it, okay? Or we give us permission, because God said, "Be," and it is, according to the Quran, within the Quran. So as a creator, we are not making something from nothing. We're channeling what has already existed in the higher realm. Okay. And there's a lot of stuff we don't know, which is fascinating about some stuff. But in the higher realm, with the ether, right? The ether giving ideas that send right back to you. That's how we dream and stuff, because we're thinking about it, right? In the universe, God would send us a direction with that. Maybe how the universe works, and it does work that way, but God is still a creation, and shoot, God can actually designed it that way from the universe. Okay. So why does it create and feel scary? Because sometimes it can be scary. You can't create something that's can be scary. Okay. Because key insight, you're not just a creator, you're an extension of creation itself. Okay. So I think this is one of the O points that I have, which is point number one, which is we are one with the original source. The new point that I have is this. Okay. So this is the new point that I have. And I guess this point number one is going to be pretty different because I'm going through different points right here. And again, we're going to do this is point number one with more as an Islamic type of perspective. Islamic century visions deep and grounded. Point number one, which is Allah is the creator and the designer. Okay. That's why I said the creator create art in the designer. Okay. God is a designer. Look at nature. Look at some of the things. God is a designer, constantly designing, constantly creating, constantly producing. Okay. And it just happens. He does not rest, doesn't need rest, doesn't need the 6th day to rest from Islamic perspective with Allah. So Allah is the creator, which I'm not going to say the Arabic because I'm going to butcher the Arabic. And the evolver. All right. That's what God is. That's one of his 99 name attributes, his 99 names. Okay. Within Islam. Okay. I think it can be more. I think infinite intelligence can be another name of him because he is infinite and he is intelligent. Right. We have DNA, and that's how we get information. We got information through our DNA. Okay. So the ones who bring everything into existence with perfect position. So which is God, creation, right? We want to create too as individuals. We want to create, we want to put our hands into things and create something. And I think that's the beauty about us as men, that we want to create something and make something, which it can either destroy us, it could be either used against us or used for us at the same time, depending on the human beings in the human that withhold the power in the creation. Okay, that creation, which fire, creation's fire, right? We need it. It's damaging though, right? Creation is not the past event; it is continuous, sustaining by His will in every moment. Okay, every ability you have imagined, designed, and to create is a gift entrusted to you. Okay. When you create with intentions, discipline, and purpose, you are honoring that gift. Okay. Here's the key insight. Your creativity is una. I think that's trust. It says trust right there. That may be Arabic. I'm not sure. Use it in alignment with divine purpose. Okay. Being divine purpose, like creation, right? I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story, right? A little bit of story of this, which one of the guys, when I got into it and reverted into Islam, right? So one of the guys messaged me, it was on Facebook. He was saying that, oh yeah, drawing characters is haram. And he showed me some, I think the hadiths, which I haven't read a lot of the hadiths. A lot of it's a lot of like little science behind it, something like that I've been learning about. But I read the Quran. So, hey, you're going to read some of the hadiths. Some of the hadiths can be questionable because it's after, I think it's, if I'm correct on this, let me know if you're a Muslim brother watching this, and you can let me know on this. But it was more of like a lot after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So it was a little bit more after with the hadiths, you know. So he sent me one of the hadiths. He's talking about sculptures, image makers, and stuff like that, right? So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, so you telling me I can't create creators? You telling me that I'm doing haram, me creating creator or drawing art with stuff for creation, right? With creators and same thing with human beings or have a soul in it, and it just and saying that I'm competing within God, and it really makes sense to me. I'm competing with God. I'm drawing an image that I'm seeing from life, and I'm not worshiping it. I'm not saying, hey, I'm not gonna worship this stuff, right? I'm not going to do that. However, I come to sit here and think to myself, like, okay, what was the time during the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? What was his time, right? So I'm sitting thinking to myself, like, okay, so there was a lot of shirk going on, which is worshiping partners associated with gods, right? That's what that is. So you got these people worshiping idols, basically, right? Also in the Bible, do not worship idols. The Lord the God is one. Oh, I think, oh Israel, your Lord is one. Okay, so talking to the Israel people at the time, the ancient times. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, they doing that. They you can't do that. Okay, why? Why is that? Okay. But then I sitting here starting to think more. It's like, okay, so a lot of these artists, they do this stuff, or people that's in their power, they do this stuff. They make these images, they sell it, get commission out of this stuff by making an image or an idol. And then you got people preying on it, and they're making money. They're making money off of ignorance, right? They're making money off people's ignorance and making a business behind it. So it makes a lot of to me, it makes a lot of sense that way. But at the end of the day, today's age, you're watching this video like 60 frames per second, that's image being created. Taking a photo, that's images being created. So I'm starting to think, okay, a lot of that doesn't, at the time I understand during that time and everything like that, it was shook and worshiping idols is a very big deal. They went through it within Islam and everything with the Kaaba and tearing all the, destroying all the idols and stuff like that. And I'm looking at it as creating stories. I'm gonna create my own stories, but I'm not gonna hear worship an image. Say we create an image, but how about a picture? How about a video? You're watching the videos, taking snapshots, it's taking images. Is it creating images? So it's just a lot of like fine whining thinking. I'm just thinking about this. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this story is because, like, it says divine purpose, right? So I think if you create something, this is just me and my opinion on it. And a lot of people say gray area, even with music. I hear a lot of it with music, with Islam, it's haram and everything like that. But I look at it as, okay, I think it depends on the individual. Okay, I think it depends on the individual because, yes, you can create music, you make music, and yes, a lot of sounds and stuff like that. Like it can affect us, yes. But what are you doing? Like, is he doing it for an art form? Are you doing it to manipulate people? Are you doing it? It's just me. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm thinking about it. Okay. So me creating a story, creating characters and being a character artist, I think if I create certain things and do things and tell stories behind it, I think it'd be pretty good for me to do. Because I mean, they say that it's like, it's a little thing that I had to struggle with. But hey, I still believe in God. I still trust in God. I still believe in Islam. But that's the little thing that me personally that I struggle with within that part of with Islam and thinking about all this stuff, because it really didn't really make sense to me how I'm competing with God in me drawing an image, But I do understand why. I do understand in a way that during that time people was making a lot of business and stuff out of it, and that's how I'm looking at it. And like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not having people on the straight path, but having them not follow the straight path, basically. What they call it, misguidance. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. So there's another point. We still on this point number 1 right here. I got a lot of points here. I'm going to do this note. So we got another one, which is universe. Universe is constantly creating through you. Okay. So we're going from Islam to another thing, which is the infinite. There is an infinite creation force and always expanding, designs, and evolving. Creation is not static. It is a living process that is a part of you. Every idea you receive in signal of greater intelligence. You are not separate from the creation. You are one active expression. Excuse me earlier, by the way. So the key insight from that, which is universe, spiritual version, which is boards and expansive. You are both the observer and the vessel of the creation unfolding. Okay, so that's just another point. And I'm still on here, right here. The creator the creator never stops creating, which I mentioned before. God, right? God is always creating. The reality is it's not finished and being designed in real time. Every structure, every system, every word built by the master level creator. You were designed with that same creative code embedded within you. When you create, you are not just making content. You are stepping into a role. You were key insight with that, which is you were built to create like it matters. We all creating something. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, so this is going on with more with the, you can say, new agey type of stuff, which I do believe in the law of attraction. It lacks attracts light. This is before it became popular. Napoleon Hill talked about it in the 1920s. I think the first mention it will be in his book, The Laws of Success, because he talked about it. The laws of success, right? So you are attracting whatever you're doing, you're creating. If you don't do nothing, you're always creating something. God wants you to be productive. God wants you to create. God wants you to produce and do something and make something and actually make an impact and help others, our other brothers and sisters, men, women, and children, without violating their rights and helping them build upon and teaching them. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get to point number 2. Today's topic we're talking about today is why creativity is a spiritual experience. Okay, why creativity is a spiritual experience. That was long point number 1 right there. I went through a couple of the old stuff, and a little thoughts of my stuff with Islam. But hey, let me know if you're Muslim listening to this. Maybe it is. Maybe you're gonna listen to it. Maybe it's gonna be cut up and it's gonna sit onto one of my shorts. Okay, make sure you go ahead and listen to this episode. If you listen to this episode, if you can listen to the episode, and let me know. Okay, so dreams are one. Point number 2, which is dreaming. Okay, dreams are one of the pursuits of creativity. When you dream, your mind is unrestricted, no logic, no limitations, in just raw creation. Okay, we dream about a lot. It happened in the Bible. I think it was Joseph. We dream a lot. Some of the ideas come with a lot of the people that I think is mastery. People dreaming. Albert Einstein. I forgot his name from the Algorithm. I haven't listened to the book. I haven't listened to audiobook mastery in a cool man. I do. Actually, my cousin had the book now. I don't longer have it, but I have to buy that book. I used to have all Robert Greene's books. But dreaming can actually help you with creativity. You got an episode on that, how dreaming can help you build your creativity. When you start constantly thinking about it while you're alive, you think about it all the freaking time. You're going to start thinking about it, solving the problems while you sleep. Have you ever thought about like you work somewhere, right? You over here working, you work at this plot, which I used to work at Michael's, seeing all these little lights popping up in my dreams and hitting all the green lights in my dream and stuff like that, or working at or fast food joint or any other job that you ever worked at. you're gonna start thinking about it while you dream, while you think, or even watching on TV. The last thing you sleep about, you start dreaming about it, is because your subconscious mind is working. Your subconscious mind is getting put into work, and that's why Napoleon Hill talks about how you need to start, like when you go, you read your goal and everything out loud before you go to sleep, because that's the last thing you be able to register. It's giving you problems to solve while you sleep. So even though you may be asleep and not really doing nothing, you solving the problems and creation, whatever you have in that day, in your sleep, so you can go out the next day and remember to write it down and stuff like that, right? So many powerful ideas, stories, vision comes from a dream-like state, and it does, So daydreaming and imagination are the gateways to higher creativity and consciousness. Okay, it could be, you don't want to be the daydreamer all the time. You don't want to be dreaming all the time. You got to go out there, be in the real world, get into this real world, and actually create massive action for yourself and not dreaming. Another thing people used to say, let's talk about lucid dreaming, right? Doing a lucid dreaming, and it's like you basically conscious about your dreaming and stuff like that, and you go through other places, portals, universe, whatever other dimensions or whatever and stuff like that. That's why I hear about a lot of it with lucid dreaming. And or I remember this story. I think I was looking into this, and this one woman was talking about how she used to dream a lot, lucid dream, and like I guess she stopped, and I guess she stopped because it's like you wanted to keep going to that. And my thing is like, okay, yeah, I'm thinking it's like, yeah, you should stop. I say not stop, but the whole lucid dreaming and doing whatever they said, spirit guides. I don't know. That's a lot of the new agey stuff like that. So I'm looking at it as like, man, that's like, you should be in reality. Like, you should be in the actual living world, what you're doing now. Because, yeah, you can go ahead and do that lucid dream and do all the other stuff. But what about now? What are you here to put for? What are you here to be? What can you do now in your life, your working life that you're working on right now, instead of trying to get to somewhere and that's you excited to get to. So I will use lucid dreaming more of working, getting, and I never done it, never experienced it. It'd be a pretty cool thing to experience. But hey, it happened in the Bible. Joseph, I think it was Joseph, right? So yeah, daydreaming and imagination is the gateway to high creativity and consciousness. Okay, you just got to remember to write that stuff down when you start having ideas, or just random walks, or when you're driving, or what else? In the shower, some of this stuff, like, you're not thinking about it, just pops in your mind. So that's how you can also solve your own problems too. So key insight: your imagination is not random. It is preview of what you can bring into reality. Okay, first is in the mind, then it becomes in reality. Point number 3. Today's talk, what I'll be talking about today, is why creativity is a spiritual experience. Okay. Point number 3: ideas come and go. Okay, ideas come and go. Okay, a lot of people get ideas, but you got to figure out which actions or ideas you're going to put into plan. You're going to put into action, but you might have to put the idea, put it in the vote, and come back to it later. Okay, ideas are constantly flowing like a stream, or frequency, like water. Right, it's always coming. It's always going to come. It's always going to come. There are going to be bad ideas. There are going to be good ideas. But you got to make sure. Sometimes you don't even need ideas. You just need to take action. Okay, sometimes you need to take action, because ideas are worthless if you don't take action. I also had an episode on that. All right, you don't own the idea, you receive them. Okay, you just receive the ideas. Okay, the ether, you're grabbing it from the ether. The ether gave it to you. Now, what were you gonna do with it? What you gonna do about it? If you don't do nothing about it, the ether going to send it to somebody else, and somebody else is gonna grab the idea. Okay, so if you don't act on the idea, it passes to someone else who wills, like I just mentioned. If you don't act on it, if you don't do the idea, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to put into action. Someone else will. They will do it. They will find it out. They will grab it through the ether, because the ether is handing it to them. God is handing it to them. Like, give you permission, giving you little snippets to send to you. Okay. Are you going to take the action? Okay. If you're not going to take it, I gave you that blessing. I'm going to give it that blessing to somebody else. I'm going to give somebody the idea to somebody else and see what they do with it. Okay, so this is why timing and execution matters in creativity. Okay, key insight what I got here for you guys. Okay, creativity rewards action, not just inspiration. You must take action. I'm reading this book. I just finished it actually recently, which is called The 12-Week Year. A lot of people know what they need to do. A lot of people, include myself. Okay, I had the same experience. Oh yeah, I'm about to do this. I know what to do, but I don't do it. I don't take action. I'm not taking enough action. I don't do it, even though I don't feel like doing it. I need to go do it. Those are professionals, right? I have these issues. I have these issues sometimes, man. So along with that, you guys, you got to take action. Creativity rewards action takers. You must take action. You can have creativity. You can have imagination. You can be innovative what you do. Okay, except for religion. Okay, oh, you don't want to innovate religion. But anyways, that's a whole different old topic. But creativity rewards the action takers. Take action. And we already know what we need to do. We just need to have a system. We need to have something, a framework to go out there and take action. That's why I suggest you guys go ahead and pick up the 12-week year. Okay. Ideas come and go. And I remember, I'm going to tell you guys some little story right here, right? Why action matters. And I actually forgot. I didn't write it down when I was asleep, but I don't know what was going on. I won't say I don't know what's going on, but I had a crazy dream. It was like an anime. I'm watching like a whole movie and stuff like that. It's like some, like, military, supernatural, superpowers and stuff like that. I can't quite remember it right now, but it was so good. And I did not write it down when I woke up. I was so angry because in my mind, I seen it. It was like, I seen all the action. I see the scenes. I seen like the voice and the dialogue and everything like that. It was like I was watching it, and I ended up waking up and I forgot. I totally forgot about it because I didn't write it down. I was so angry at myself, and I think it would have slapped. It may have been good. Maybe it's the other idea that I have, but it was a really good idea, and I didn't write it down. Okay, I didn't write it down, which is, they got to write it down, then go ahead and take the action. I got a lot of ideas. But I haven't been taking enough action. Okay. So now I'm looking to see what I want to do. A lot of stuff that's going on in the industry right now. The gaming industry is imploding. The animation industry is imploding. And a lot of it's actually doing because the game industry with what they let people in, and also same thing with the animation industry, a lot of flops, a lot of this other stuff they're creating that the audience don't want to watch. People don't want to watch it. Okay. And they're calling people out saying you're this and that, and then they beg them to come back, which is kind of oxymoron. You're basically bashing your customer base, you're bashing the customers, but people don't want to watch it. People don't want it. People don't want to look at it because it's not appealing. And not even that, some of this stuff is with kids, right? You got family, right? Families, especially animation movies, animated feature movies, right? So a lot of the parents don't want to see their kids there. I'm just saying. So in the game industry, a lot of the gamers are just like turning away from it. Turning away. They feel like they ain't getting respected, So you don't want to attack those type of people when you're doing it. When you come with ideas, start attacking people that like your ideas, that love your story, anything like that. Yeah, you're gonna get toxic fans. There's fan bases in there, stuff like that, but you don't want to attack the audience. You don't want to attack the fan base. You don't really want to attack that stuff. Okay. But creativity and rewards the action takers. And if it's something that's really good, authentic, and people will love and enjoy, they will come and they will look at your work. Okay, let's go ahead and get to point from before. Today's topic we're talking about today is why creativity is a spiritual experience. Okay, why creativity is a spiritual experience. Point number 4, which is infinite intelligence. I talked about this, right? I think is another name. You can call it another name for God, right? Infinite intelligence. There's a higher intelligence that governs everything: patterns, nature, energy, and creation. Okay, everything in the universe, everything. I remember I'm gonna give you guys a story where this guy, I forgot what started it. I forgot what happened or what he started, or I forgot what it was, how it started, because I was driving Uber at the time. He said he doesn't believe in God and all this other stuff, and he's trying to convince me why God isn't real. Okay, he was trying to convince me. I believe God is real. Okay, and I look at the universe. Look at the stars. Look at even our bodies, and everything is in perfect harmony. Okay. The planet moving a perfect rotation, right? Saying the planets, the sun, life is perfect. Like how life is right now. It's so rare. Life is rare. We haven't found any other life on another planet. It's so rare. It's in a perfect spot right now. Okay. Same thing with our bodies, right? How everything is systematically works. We have a digestive system. We have a nervous system. We have a reproductive system. We have all this stuff that perfectly aligns, that perfectly works together. Then you have DNA. DNA is intelligence, right? You got DNA. I don't say intelligence, it's information. So you telling me there's no intelligence, there's no higher being, there's no anybody that's intelligence out there to create not just the universe, that's everything is in perfect harmony, the planets, the line and moon, and make sure that we won't get hit struck by a planet, or even with the the rain and everything with on the planet and with our bodies and animals and stuff that's here to help us heal each other. Like, it's perfect. It is perfectly aligned. It is perfect. Okay. And a lot of people just think, oh, it comes from nothing. He's trying to convince me, and I'm trying to explain to him this. Okay. Think about it. Even an acorn, right? Or an acorn or type of seed you plant in the ground, you keep growing it, and it sprouts up. It knows what to do. Animals, same way. Just like with a baby, when it knows when to cry, when it is hungry, it cries, right? We like it like carefully sow, which I think is I forgot which verse is in the Bible. I think it's Psalms. I sowed you in your mother's womb, right? Perfectly. Okay. A lot of people say, oh no, I was born like this way, blah, blah, blah. No, you ain't born that way. It's something that went wrong, which is us human beings that we caused. Okay. But it's like, so, cell by cell with the baby, with how everything and with the fetus and everything that grows into a baby. And like, it is fascinating. Okay. Perfectly. Okay. It is perfect. So I don't know what to tell you guys, man. I know a lot of people don't believe in, say, oh, God doesn't believe, I don't believe in God, everything. But man, there's so much. It is nothing just doesn't magically all me hacking out just randomly. It doesn't. It doesn't work that way. And there is a higher power out there. And that's just my example of giving you guys reasons how God exists. Okay. God exists and gives us free will, choices. But anyways, when you're in flow, you're aligned with intelligence, which is flow state, right? Artists, musicians, and creators often describe feeling like something is working through them. I'm gonna give you guys another story right here, which is, I just popped in my head, which is the Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wallace, right? And he's talking about how a little kid, I think he was playing the music instrument. I don't remember what instrument it was, right? So he was playing it, and he said, my body was like, it wants to play it, but my body, it's not giving me it. It's like it wants to. It's like that urge, right? So some of you probably can understand, like, you see it, like with a drawing, you can see it, but you can't quite get it there just yet. Okay, it's like playing the music instruments. He's playing the music instruments, and he can see it in his mind, but for some reason, in reality, he's not getting there yet. You still got to work through it, right? Like, I can see it, but it's not coming out the way I want it to. Something like that. So in reality, right? Maybe it was a skill issue or something like that, but it works. Like, wants you to play the flute. God gave you talent. God gave you abilities or gave you things that inherited to you that you want to do, that you want to go out and face. You want to go out and do. Okay. And even, I think, art and all that, playing the flute, playing certain instruments, and even with drawing, it's all a skill, just like reading and writing. I do truly believe that. And you can create your own talent. The more you put into that talent, the more you keep working on that talent, or working on that skill, it can become a talent. Okay. That's just my belief on it. Some people work differently. Maybe some things ain't work often, but you might work on your strengths. Okay. You can work on your weaknesses, but right now you should work on your strengths first. Okay. This isn't a coincidence. It's connection. Okay. When somebody work through you, the feeling of something work through you, even with like the flow, the zone, artists, musicians, and creators, like, they can feel it. Like something like is like something working through you. Okay. So the key insight is the best creations don't come from force. It comes from alignment. Okay. And let's go ahead and get to the next point. Okay. Point number 5. Today's topic I'm going to be talking about today is why creativity is a spiritual experience. Creativity is an experiential experience because point number 5 is a state of being. First you be it, then you do it, then you have it. It's being that person, being the person you need to become, being who you need to be. The creative power depends on your internal state, your internal world. Okay. If your mind ain't right, you're going to start creating things you don't want to have in your life. You're going to start attracting those type of things in your life. Okay. When you're stressed, distracted, disconnected, creativity feels blocked. And I understand it. When you feel stressed, when you constantly feeling like, was it stress? Distracted, going on to do, a lot of this different stuff. You ain't really disconnected. You're disconnected, but you're not really in the zone. You're not really in that creative mode, you can say, that flow state. Okay. So getting stressed out, overworking, you can say creative blocked, or you burnt out. You ain't really burnt out. You just exhausted. You just need to replenish your energy. Okay. Your willpower. Okay. So can't really burn out when you have a lot of energy. It's energy. You got to keep replenishing the energy. Okay. So when you are calm, present, and aligned, creativity flows effortlessly. Okay. So able to handle difficult situations, stressful environments, being calm, being present, being in the moment. Okay. Being aligned with what you want to create, being aligned with that you want to create, that you desire to create, that you willing, that goes with your values. That's what I think. But creativity is less about doing, but more about being. Being that person. Okay, being the person you want to become. If you want to start being that person, or you want to be good at math, start being good. Just maybe this is not good advice, but I'm just looking at it as like more being. Okay, which is you be it. First you be it, then you do it, then you have it. You become the person. That's basically what I'm saying, and that's the be do have principle. You become that person. Okay, if you want to become a better person, become that person. If you want to be better at art, become the person that be better at art. Be that person who can be good at art. Be it now, not later. Be it now. Okay, so here's a key insight. Flow state is spiritual state, and that's what I was talking about. Okay, so here's my closing thoughts right here. Creativity is not just about producing content, art, and ideas. It's about connecting with something greater than yourself, allowing it to move through you, and just create something that can actually impact someone's life. Okay, that's why I say, like, a lot of this stuff, that like stories and stuff like that, and I talked about it with Islam and everything like that, but that's why I think with good intentions, if you actually create some of the good intentions, and without violating the rights to our fellow men, women, and children, you can actually impact someone's life in a positive way. Okay, so that's just my point. Let's go ahead and recap today's topic. I'm going to be talking about today is why creativity is a spiritual experience. Creativity isn't just a skill, it's connection. I said yes. It's not just a skill; it's connection. When you create, you're tapping into something beyond yourself. And there's a few things with point number one, which is which this is the old version of what I used to say, which is we are one with the original source, which is one with the creation, which is basically pantheism. I don't believe that anymore, because God is the creator. Allah is the creator of all things. All he got to say be, and it is. And the Bible says, let there be light, and there was light. Okay. Allah is the creator. He's the evolver, the one who brings everything into existence in perfect position. We talked about that, right? Perfect position, which is our fingers, our cells in our body, the alignment of the planets, everything that lines that works within our bodies. Same thing with the ecosystem on the earth, with the weather and the tornado, earth, everything works in perfect harmony. Okay. So creation is not just the past, it's continuous, sustaining by his will at every moment, which God never rests, by the way. Every ability you have, imagine, design is created, the gift entrusted by God, entrusted to you. God entrusted you. God gave it to you. God gave us permission to create and have this stuff to happen. Okay, like I said, once He says it is, let it be. It is created. It is done just by His word. Okay, let there be light. There was light. Okay, your creativity is trust in the alignment of the divine purpose, your divine purpose. Use your creativity, your imagination, and innovation for divine purpose. Be definite in everything that you do. Okay, that's more of the Islamic. That's what I probably most likely believe in now. I don't believe in the pantheism stuff, that God exists. We are gods. We are gods. No, I don't believe in that stuff anymore. I don't. That's more of the new agey stuff, type of stuff. That's because how Islam's perspective on God and how God works. Allah is the creator of all things. Nothing. All He has to say it is, and it let it be, and it is. It happens. Okay. Every idea and vision, every piece and art flows within the same source, which it is. God already knows what we want. God knows we can create from the same source. Okay. As a creator, we're not making something to nothing. We're channeling something that already exists in the higher realm. Okay, it already exists. There's also in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, this is why creating is feeling so scary, because it is. It can be scary when you're creating something new, because people can criticize it. They don't understand it. Okay, the universe is constantly creating through you. Okay, the universe wants you to win. If God designed the universe to do what it does, like the law of attraction, many other different divine laws, like the law you reap what you sow, and many other things, is how it works. Just like nature, it works. It just works that way. The universe just keeps on expanding, right? It's part of creation, but the universe can work through you, and God can give us permission. But there is infinite creative force that always expanding, designing, evolving. Creation is not static; it is a living process that is a part of you. And again, it's not static. The universe is always creating. God always putting planets, exploding them, and all this, putting perfect position and everything like that. Keeps on expanding the universe. Okay, you're not a separate creation. You are one of its active expression. Okay. You are both the observer and the vessel of the creation unfolding. Okay, which that's probably more universal spiritual version of that point of view. Okay, cinematic, broad. This is more. Nope. The creator never stops creating. The reality is not to finish. Is designed by the real time. Every structure, every system, every world building the master of the creator. You were designed that the same creative code embedded in within you. When you create, you're not just making content, you're stepping into your role. Point number 2, which is dreaming, is one of the most persist forms of creativity. When you dream, you're master the unrestricted, no logic, no limit, and the raw creation. Many powerful ideas, stories, visions, and come from dreams like state, daydreaming, imagination, and gateways to higher creative consciousness. Okay, point number 3, which is ideas are constantly coming. Ideas constantly come and go. Ideas are constantly flowing like a stream or frequency, like a stream of water. Okay, if you don't own ideas, you don't own ideas. We receive them. If you don't act on the ideas, it passes and goes to somebody else. Either give it to somebody else. You do not act upon the ideas. It goes into the ether. You have to grab it from the ether. This is why timing, execution matters than creativity. Point number 4, which is infinite intelligence. Okay, there is a higher intelligence govern everything, patterns, nature, every energy, creation. When you are in flow, they're aligned. You're aligned with infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence can give us. Okay, God, I think it was Solomon. He said, he asked God, God can give him all the riches and anything in the world. He asked for wisdom. Okay, artists, musicians, and creators often describe feeling like something's working through them. Okay, this is known as spiritual hunches, which is, we talked about this, creative imagination. Then you have synthetic imagination, but this is more through creative imagination. God is giving us answers, going through the ethers, giving us little signs and stuff like that, right? This isn't a coincidence; it's connection. Okay, the best creations don't come from the force; they come from alignment. And point number 5, the state of being, the be, do, have principle. Your creative power depends on your inner state. Okay, first you be it, then you do it, then you have it. When you are stressed, distracted, disconnected, creativity feels blocked. However, I think there's going to be ways you can get through when you're stressed. I mean, it can feel blocked, but it's not really blocked. Okay, it's actually helping you build you, and it's actually resistance. I didn't mention that earlier. When you are calm, present, and aligned, creativity flows effortlessly. Creativity is less about doing, but more about being. Okay, and again, flow state is the spiritual state. And here's my closing thoughts. Creativity is not just about producing content, art, ideas. It's about connecting with something greater than yourself and always moving through you. When you create something, it is better. It is more, I won't say it's better, but it's basically working through you and create something that is bigger than yourself, because your ideas, your creativity, your imagination can change someone's life in a positive way. Paul, folks, is not where we at. It's where we come from. Always, always create like a God. You're the master of your fate. You're the captain of your soul. You're made an image of God. And always, always create like a God. God gave you a brain to think for yourself. Mess that up. And always, always create like a God. Talk to you guys tomorrow.